Hey guys, it's Leeroy with Leeroy Gaming, and today I'm bringing you my 10 things I wish I knew sooner when I started playing Starfield. In today's video, we're going to jump right into things, so if you find this video helpful, please make sure to drop a like and let me know in the comments below what things you wish you had known earlier when you started playing this game. So we're going to begin at the very beginning with character creation, and that's when it comes to choosing your background. Now, most people assume the most important thing here is going to be what starting skills you get, but I'm here actually to tell you quite the opposite. You're going to have lots of opportunities to get skill points as you level up, but what makes a more permanent difference on your character is actually the category. For example, whether you're a bounty hunter or an industrialist, because this will, from a roleplay perspective, have you interact differently with NPCs in the world. If you're an industrialist and you're dealing with another, for example, corporate CEO, they may have a comment that has to do with something that's industrial in nature, and you will have unique responses if you are an industrialist. Similar, if you're a bounty hunter, you may interact with certain NPCs, and once they know that you're a bounty hunter, they're going to react to you differently. Is it flavor? Yes, it is. It's not the end of the world, but it is something unique, while your starting skills actually offer you nothing unique. And that is because of point number 2. This game has no level caps, and there is a new game plus mode where the game incentivizes you to new game plus over and over and over again. So while there are a ton of skill points out there to pick up, the reality is having 3 skill points that maybe are less optimal are not nearly as big of a deal. So know that with enough grinding, you can get pretty much any skills you want because of the no level cap in this game and many ways to farm up EXP. Now that brings us right to number 3. And that's about traits, and them kind of being a mixed bag. Now, they are completely optional, and most of them are not going to do anything too huge or impressive. For example, being raised enlightened or raised universal, it basically lets you follow one of the 2 kind of quote-unquote churches. It says you get a little bit of loot, but the chests are not worth very much. The ones I will say that are kind of interesting to pick, the dream home is interesting. You do have a mortgage, but if you want kind of unique living space, this is kind of cool. If you want something kind of funny, you can have hero worship. You can have this companion follow you around. He's not very good when it comes to stats. It's kind of funny for a laugh here or there. It's unique, that's why I pointed out, but it's nothing that you can't live without. Now, one that I wish I had taken actually is Taskmaster, because this is pretty cool. You will sometimes get auto repairs on your ships when they get damaged. The offset is that crew members cost twice as much to hire. Chances are you don't need to hire that many crew members. In my first playthrough, I literally played with the companions I got through the storyline. None of those cost me money, yet the Taskmaster bonus is probably going to come into play at some points, which is cool. Also, Wanted is another fun one. Basically, all this does is have enemies come at you more often, which is going to be kind of like free experience, and it kind of makes the game a little bit more exciting. And if your low health is low, you will do some extra damage, which is a plus in my mind. So unless you find kind of random encounters jumping you from time to time a big of a nuisance, this is in a lot of ways I think a plus. Alright guys, tip number 4 is to replace your starter ship as soon as possible. There are 2 ships you can get with relative ease very early in the game. First, you can get the Razor Leaf by completing the Mantis questline, and you will find this by just killing space pirates out in space, loot their ships, and eventually you're gonna get a little mission that's gonna have you go and follow the path of the Mantis. That's nice and quick. You can check out my video on that. That should be linking up above. It walks you through the entire thing, and you'll get this Razor Leaf ship, which is great. Also, you can get this great Star Eagle ship, and to do this, all you got to do is complete the Ranger quest line, which is one of the faction quest lines. After you land in Aquila City as part of the main quest line and run into the robbery situation, once you're done dealing with that, you'll get the opportunity to join the Rangers. Just follow through that. It's not very difficult. And at the end of the quest line, you will get the Star Eagle. Both of these ships are way better than your starter ship, and you're going to get the most mileage out of them if you get them early in the game. Speaking of what's best early in the game, let's talk about the 3 best starting skills for any build whatsoever. Number 1 is going to be scavenging, and getting this ranked up as quickly as possible is going to be huge. You'll get extra credits, you're going to get extra ammo, extra aid items. All those as soon as possible are going to be huge. And don't underestimate the rank 4, where it's going to highlight items that you're tracking in the world. Instead of it being a normal white outline when you're searching using your scanner, there will be orange in nature and stand out like a sore thumb, so you can find those highly needed items even easier. Number 2 is boost pack training, and you really only need one of this just to unlock the ability to boost. The other ones are a luxury. I never ended up getting them, but just being able to boost all around the place is huge. Get this right away. And then finally, the third one is security. Just like every other Bethesda game out there, there are a million doors to unlock, a million chests, etc. that will get you a ton of loot or let you get shortcuts to get through quests easier and quicker. So just max this out as soon as possible, at the very least to level 3. Level 4 I never end up getting. It's a luxury, but it's completely unnecessary, but you want to get rank 3. Number 6 is knowing about the wonderful magical lodge. Now what I mean by that is early in the game, in the main quest line, you get access to the lodge, and you're going to get 2 areas that are going to give you really good benefits. The first one is going to be your main room, and the thing to note here is you get the safe here that has unlimited storage, and that's pretty cool, but that's not really the best part of the magical lodge. If when you zone in, instead of going up to your room, you go down instead, there are 2 things that are really important here that you get access to. Number 1 is a workspace that has absolutely every single type of workbench that you need. In addition, you got this lovely little storage box right here in the center that if you transfer, you're going to notice it has unlimited mass, meaning you can put as much stuff as you want in here. The reason this is important is that you can bring down all your crafting materials and store it in here, and then just anytime you need to craft, you can take it out of the box and then carry it to craft and then put it back when you're done. Now everything in tip number 6 works well because of tip number 7, and that's knowing that in this game you technically have an unlimited weight of capacity, sort of. You'll notice here I have 294 out of 255 mass that I'm carrying right now, and you'll see as I run, even though I should be over encumbered, I can run at full speed. Now all that's going to happen as I run fast here is that I'm going to run out of oxygen, and then I'm going to build up my CO2, which is fine. What happens when you max out your CO2? Well, you're going to have some negative effects from the CO2, and you're going to start taking damage eventually, but the worst that can happen is you drop down to 5% health roughly or so, but you will never actually die. You're still going to be able to move at pretty fast speed compared to any other Bethesda game. In the past, you'd either be completely immobile or moving at a snail's pace. In this case, you could even get 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 weight, and you can still get from position 1 to another. You can always stop and you will recover and kind of cycle through if you need to move around. So this works as in tip 6, where you can kind of store everything in a tiny little box, pick it up and craft, or even if let's say you just get a ton of loot from farming on one of your outposts, you can run to your ship, fly to some area to sell all your stuff, and then run there even if you're super encumbered for maximum profits without worrying about it. Now next, let's talk about your combat companion and the fact that you can actually equip them with items, but not everybody knows you can do this. When you trade with your companion, You can give them a weapon, and if you hit B, you can tell them to equip or unequip the weapon. The only requirements are that you have at least one piece of ammo. So just make sure to check what kind of ammo weapon has. For example, here, this is a 40mm XPL. Then make sure you go under ammo and you have at least one ammo of that. They will never use the ammo. So as long as you have one, they will have infinite ammo. This is why having heavy weapons works really well on companions, because they're not gonna utilize all that ammo, but you get all the DPS benefits. You can also equip a spacesuit on them. I highly recommend anything that's gonna, for example, make it so that they can carry more capacity. Anything like here, Incendiary, 10% chance to ignite nearby attackers, that's gonna be all beneficial. Apparel, you can also give them. For example, I like giving them an outfit that's gonna give them carry capacity, but you can also give one that increases max health, that can be beneficial as well. And then last but not least, equip them with a grenade. They will actually throw grenades and they will have infinite grenades. Tip number 9 is that there are 5 weapon and armor tiers. And for example, looking at weapon tiers, you have normal tier, then a weapon can be calibrated, then it can be refined, advanced, and then superior. This is important. So for example, let's look at this Professional's Advanced Urban Eagle. And the lowest quality of this would just be called an Urban Eagle. Then if you were to find one that says calibrated Urban Eagle, it will just have across the board better stats. You could also find a calibrated version, a refined version, an advanced version, and this is notice an advanced version, and there's even a superior version. The remainder of the name, for example, professionals or anything else, has to do with the modifications you put on it. So what you need to know is this. Find the type of gun that you like the feel of, the gameplay of. And then if you can find early in the game a refined or advanced version of it, buy it, get it. Even if it's white, just like this, it may be one of your best weapons in the game. It may not have a shiny color like a legendary weapon that's yellow, but if you have a high tier of this that's numerous tiers above a legendary weapon, it's still gonna beat it. This, for example, you'll notice it's a refined legendary. It's one tier below advanced, so it may be competitive. But this titanium advanced Grendel is quite a bit better than it, because again, it's a full tier higher. It's an advanced Grendel, that's what matters. And it has all the legendary perks. Do note, there are unique weapons in the game where it's a little more confusing. For example, here's an Unrestrained Vengeance. This is a unique weapon. It's a blue rarity, but you don't know right off the bat what rarity it is. One of the tips I can give you is by looking at the value. A lot of times that will kind of give away what tier it's in. It's not a perfect system and you may have to play around with it a little bit or do a Google search, but in general, what I would say, if you find early on an advanced, or if you find anything superior is the highest tier again, find it, go to a bench, craft it, put on your custom mods, chances are it's going to beat anything else that's lower tier. And the final tip I wanted to give you guys in this first video is Unarmed sucks. It really, really sucks. I wish it was good, but the damage on it is horrible. The boxing skill related to it to up the damage takes forever to grind. It never gets powerful. All the other perks that are related to Unarmed are also junk. If you want to kind of go melee with a weapon, but stay far, far away from Unarmed. All it's going to do is bring you to tears, and you will be sorely disappointed even if you get to rank 4. Alright guys, I hope you guys found this first list of 10 things I wish I knew sooner in Starfield helpful. If you did, again, make sure to drop a like, let me know your thoughts and comments below. I'll probably get another version of this. I have more tips to share with you, so if you would like to see more of them, make sure to let me know. Of course, if you want to see more from me, make sure to subscribe. And as always, thank you for all your support, and I'll see you guys in the next video.